How do I back up a database on an Azure SQL Managed instance? And then how do I restore that database on a SQL Server 2022 instance? Those answers and more coming right up.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Welcome to Tales from the Field. My name is Bradley Ball, and it is so good to have you with us. If this is your first time finding your way over to our YouTube channel, please give us a like and also a subscribe. We have shows every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Tuesday, we have a hosting show where we typically have a guest from the Azure Data community or from Microsoft. On Wednesday, we drop our MS Tech Bits, which is one of the videos you're watching right now. And then on Thursday, we also have a live show. It is our community roundtable where we feature content from you, the community. We also post all of the links in the comments underneath the chat for everyone to be able to access after we have finished the show. We hope you will join us for those. Now let's get on to what we're here to talk about. So in this recording, what we're going to do is show how we take an Azure SQL Managed instance and we perform a backup and we restore it. But I want you to keep in mind, first and foremost, that what we're going to do is we're going to decrypt the database and do this in an unencrypted manner. It is completely possible for us to do this in an encrypted way. However, we're going to basics and we're doing this in the simplest way possible. And we're going to start with this in an unencrypted manner. And so we will unencrypt our database, and then we will create a credential that allows us to access our blob storage. We will then be able to take a copy-only backup and place that on our Azure Blob Storage. And what we'll do is we'll create that same credential on our virtual machine, and then we'll be able to do a restore operation from that backup to our Azure SQL Server 2022 instance running on the virtual machine. All right, so I'm here in my Azure portal, and you can see I've got my Azure Blob Storage account, SQL Insiders. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that. I'm going to create a shared access signature. We're going to go under Security and Networking, click on Shared Access Signature, and then we're going to check Service Container and Object. And I'm going to generate the SAS token. It's right there. There's a question mark right there. I will need to delete that for the script I'll use, but I'm going to copy it out, and then I'm going to go over to SSMS. You can see I've already got that in place. So I've got my demo internals database, and what I'm going to do, I'm on my SQL Managed instance. I'm going to create this credential that will allow me to access the blob storage account. I'm going to then use the demo internals database, and I need to alter the database and set encryption off. As a matter of fact, if I go and I take a look, I can see that encryption is on right now for the database. So I run this, you can see TempDB by default is encrypted with TDE. So TDE and my demo internals database both encrypted. If I try and back up, this is the error I get. I can't back up the database until I disable TDE. So let's go ahead and let's run this. You can see I'm now in an encrypted state. By the way, how long this runs depends on your size of the database. My database is very small for this demo, so it's run very, very quickly. So let's go back to my script. If I try and back up though, I'm going to get an error. The reason is that the database encryption key is there. So I've got to drop the encryption key. And now I can finally back this up. So this is just me walking through the steps, showing you the errors. You can see it's no longer encrypted. Now I can back up my database. So now if I go and I bring over my Storage Explorer, my Azure Data Storage Explorer, what I can do is I can refresh this and see my backup is now sitting in my SQL, in my Insiders storage account. And now we're ready to go. I'm ready to go to the Azure virtual machine that we have our SQL 2022 instance. And you can see I have no databases running there. And I'm going to create the script with the exact same credentials so I can access the same backup directory on Azure Blob Storage. So let's go ahead and run that. And then you can see I've got my restore option here from script. I'm doing a move to because the data file, the log file, the XTP file that are created by default are going to have some move operations. I'm going to need to put them on my physical disk. So let's go ahead and run this. And boom, really quick, it's done. We're good to go. I refresh it. I see my demo internals from script database is now there. Now I can also do this via the GUI. So I can restore the database. I'm going to go to device, and then I'm going to go to file and select URL and click add. Now I'm going to need to authenticate to my Azure account. I'm going to skip through a little bit of this for you. But I'm going to select the blob storage account, the container, generate a shared access signature, and then I can click OK. I can browse into the container. I can see the backup that we've backed up previously. Click OK. And then I need to go to files. Remember files, we're going to need to relocate. You can see that we need to move these, and also it attached some weird GUI to the name. So let's go ahead and let's change this. I'm going to change the data file to be demo internals.mdf. Click OK. Let's go to our log. We're going to make this demo internals_log.ldf. We'll click OK. And then I'm going to go to the last one, XTP. We'll make this demo internals_xtp.xtp. And this is the file specifically for a memory OLTP if we were to utilize it. And very quickly, again, small database. You can see it's restored. There's my demo internals located right next to my demo internals from script. All right, so what did we cover? We covered how you take a database from Azure SQL Managed Instance, how you can back it up and restore it to a SQL Server 2022 instance. In this scenario, we did it with an unencrypted database and an unencrypted backup. It is important to realize you can do that with an encrypted database and an encrypted backup, but it's a different video that you're going to need to watch. This is just how we take that encryption off, get that database out, how we can restore it, and how we can get that shared access signature from a blob storage account so we can back up the database from SQL Managed Instance, and then we can restore it from that same blob Azure storage account into our SQL 2022 instance. I hope this video was helpful, and thank you so much for watching and joining us.
I try to pick one thought, have some concentration, and if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it